Important just to stop that run of defeats and get the point on Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. Taking the positives from the performance. First half at the Livingston game, looking a lot more back to what we expect, and then although we never got the 3 points, there was elements of the performance that were what they should have been at the weekend. So got to get just keep the kind of positive momentum going. Turn the draws into wins and get us back to where we should be.
We get a wee break from the league action for now. We've got a cup to defend, so I suppose the most important thing come the end of the game on Saturday is that we are into the next round.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, though, putting in a performance that we should as well. So obviously the result's massive, and we want to defend the trophy. But it's really important for the longevity of the season that we start to put in the 90-minute performances that we expect.
When we were speaking to Rhys about the last game, a lot was maybe made of gifts of goals and things like that, but from watching it back and at the time, we went out and attacked that game with the right attitude. It was a lot about what we did right rather than what they did wrong. So that's the kind of attitude we've got to approach it with again, am I right?
100%. Apply what we want to do, and don't let them dictate the game, and that starts from the first whistle. I know it's a bit of a cliche, but got to get after it, set the tempo early, and be aggressive, be positive, and don't take anything for granted.
You've talked about it already, that momentum and the kind of positive momentum that you can get in a football game is so huge, and we had that the last time. We get off to a really good start and then that just sort of led to that going through the right 90 minutes and then right through the rest of that cup campaign in the League Cup. So important, as you say, to go from the off and get at the opponent.
Yeah, it's so true. Set that tempo early, because it's the gaffer speaks about this a lot. It's really hard if you start games quite slow and quite lethargic. It's really hard to pick it up, and being on the pitch, that's 100% right. You need to start with an intent. You need to set the bar, and it's a lot easier to keep that high tempo, high press going. We just came off the back of a really good training session, high intensity, and I think that's been the key over the past couple of weeks anyway. Albeit we got never got any points at Livingston and only got a draw at the weekend. It's still the aggression, the positive, the will to win. So it's great. It's good to see that just the basis of what you expect from our teams is there.
We certainly, like you said, Livingston and the last game looked a lot more like ourselves compared to, say, at Capello and the game against Falkirk. So proof positive that we're going in the right direction, and I guess you want to just continue that on Saturday.
100%. I mean, there's 100 excuses you could be using in terms of injuries, whatnot, but every team's picking them up, as you're seeing. So you got to deal with the hand you've got, and it's got to just stay nice and positive and go into Saturday, hopefully get a good win, and yeah. I
suppose from East Kilbride, they're going to be coming here with a point to prove that was a bit of a freak result, or at least a freak scoreline, and that they're better than that. So what are you expecting from them? 100%.
Well, if you look back at the game, the first 30, they were at, I know the scoreline kind of doesn't really say this, but they were decent in terms of their intent to knock the ball about. We were obviously pretty deadly on the counter, but they came out with intent, and they looked to keep the ball kind of similar style to ourselves, what we try and implement. So we know what they're capable of. They obviously do well in their league, so there's no question that we'll let our guard down or take anything for granted. We've got on a completely 100%, and we've got the added initiative of we're defending a trophy.
We touched on that with Rhys as well, that the fact that it is, for now it's our cup, we've got that trophy. If someone's going to knock us out of this competition, they're going to have to go some to do so.
Absolutely, and it's up to everyone. Obviously there's the kind of spine of the team who were here last year, who played in it and know what it takes to get to the final, and you've obviously got new load of lads looking to prove themselves. So it's a good combination, and I'm looking forward to hopefully getting a good positive result on Saturday and just keeping them wheels turning, getting the momentum going and take it into the league afterwards.
Both teams have played a lot of football since they played each other back in July. So I suppose there's only so much we can take from that game in terms of how you expect them to set up, what the personnel might be like. But is that something you're going to be focusing on the rest of the week, what they're going to be doing, or because they have a similar philosophy to us, do we kind of already know that?
No, treat it like every other team, give them the respect that they're due. You know, we do team got to do the analysis. You know, you look into their recent form, recent team lineups and whatnot, and you know, just as they'll be doing with us. So nothing really changes in terms of preparation, hard work on the pitch and off the pitch, being fully prepared, and I go out and give it a all Saturday, and it should be good.
How much are you enjoying being back out there? Obviously had some injury issues earlier on in the season. Just delighted and relieved to be back out contributing.
Yeah, 100%. It's you know, so hard watching in the stand, as you know, so many of the injured boys know. It's just makes you appreciate it. So being out the past couple of weeks, it's been brilliant. You know, trying to give the team all I can, because you know, always give 100%.
You very nearly got yourself a goal the last time we played East Kilbride. You nearly scored it right at the end on Saturday as well there, but just the crossbar that stopped you. If there's a free kick in a similar position, will you be putting your name forward to take it?
I always put my name forward, but we'll see if they take it seriously. I don't know.
And if you get it just maybe a couple of inches shorter and you're in?
You're not wrong.
Thank you, Craig. Thanks very much. Rhys, I suppose any game that you can stop the losing run is a point gained. Looking back on Saturday, 2 points dropped potentially?
I think looking at the game in kind of more detail after the weekend, couple of opportunities that we possibly could do better. I thought we defended reasonably well. Obviously they scored, it's a penalty, and again in my opinion I don't think it is a penalty. So I've got to credit the boys for how well they defended, limited them to a few snapshots from outside the box, and again we had obviously a few chances that possibly could have done enough to nick it, but like you said, it's a point and the run that we've been on, hopefully kind of take a bit of confidence from that and moving forward.
Important now, looking ahead to the East Kilbride game, that we make sure we don't look too far into what happened the last time they were here. They're a team that will surely be coming here intent on proving that they're better than that. What kind of game are you expecting?
Tough, and I kind of touched on it before, and listen, there's loads to like about the guys at East Kilbride, and obviously I know kind of Si and Mick, the kind of styles and the way that they want to play. It's very similar to the way that I see football as well. So listen, it's really entertaining on the eye. Obviously the last game we played them, being a high score line, they'll be obviously disappointed and frustrated, looking to probably rectify that. But listen, the pressure's on us. We're the side that's expected to go and win the game, and listen, that's the message from the boys from all week at training, is that just because of the last score line or current position, current league that they're playing in, it's really important that you give them the utmost respect, because if you don't, then they can certainly hurt you. You certainly don't want to go into it with complacency, because it's a cup, anything can happen, and you don't want to be on the end of that cup shot. Of course, and that's, you've seen it over the years, and it's all about approach, it's all about kind of mentality, it's all about being professional in the right areas, being clinical when you need to, defending when you need to, and getting the job done. But like you said, cup kind of runs and competitions, there's always one or two usually shocks in the rounds, and listen, the aim and certainly the message from myself and the staff will be that we're not going to be one of them. A game like this does give you the opportunity, I suppose, to go out and get a healthy scoreline if you approach it in the right way. Does that come into it at all, or is it just about getting that one? No, listen, scorelines are relevant, because like I said, first and foremost you've got to win the game. To do that you've got to put in a level of performance that merits the win, and that's not just an individual, or that's a collective. So you've got to defend well, you've got to attack well, make better decisions in the final third, and ultimately if you take those chances then you get your rewards, as we did the last time that we played them here. But listen, we're under no illusion, we're not coming here to expect to just kind of come and turn over East Kilbride. It'll be a tough game. Obviously domestically they're doing really well, and listen, they're fully confident, scored a few goals at the weekend as well. So listen, if we're not in a away game and like you said, just take our foot off the ball ever so slightly, then they'll be in a position to hurt us. Obviously you touched on it,
levels between the sides in terms of the divisions they play in, but a lot of what happened the last time we played them was about what we did, that we attacked the game with a kind of ferocity. So we can't let that slide. It wasn't that we get loads of gifts. We went at that game with the right attitude, so we'll need to do the same again.
Of course, it's the same way that we approach every game. Doesn't matter who you're playing, is that you can't wait for a win to happen. You've got to go and earn the win. There was loads of things the first time we played them in the early stages of the cup competition, where we obviously had a much bigger and healthier squad, so we've got to take everything into consideration, but ultimately, like you say, you've got to go and earn the right to play. You've got to put the hard work in, and minimum kind of fundamentals is hard work, commitment, kind of appetite to be hungry in the game. And listen, on paper our quality should shine through, hence the reason that we're playing in that division. But as I said, if you're not going to approach it with the right mindset, the right intensity and enthusiasm and stuff, which to be fair I've no real kind of questions over the boys, never once have I come in and really questioned that too much. And if there ever has been a performance or a half where they've not given me that the following game or the following half, they've responded really well. So it's not something that I would label at the boys or ourselves. We know the task, and listen, the kind of pressure's on us, if you like. We're expected to win the game, and listen, we'll be going out to do that.
Not just as the favourites in the individual tie, but because it's our trophy, it's the cup that we've won, and we saw how much of a positive impact that had for us last year.
Of course it is, and it's not just for us as players and staff and kind of members of the club, it's people in the community, fans, supporters, and people who you don't often get the chance to win a bit of silver, where we managed to do that. And like you said, that sense of pride, we're the holders of the competition, so for someone to come and beat us in this competition, they're going to have to be right on their A game. That's the way that we've got to approach it. And like I said, if we go and approach each game with that mindset that we're defending the trophy and we're going to go and attack in our mindset, then listen, we'll not be far away, but ultimately we've got to make sure that we start with the one on Saturday.
Now on to the favourite part of every interview at this period in time. What's the injury list looking like just now? Again,
it's been probably difficult the last couple of weeks. A couple of niggles, obviously big Aaron Reid felt his hamstring, which again we're thinking that it'll be a good number of weeks anyway, which isn't ideal. I thought he was just coming into gaining a bit of fitness in terms of his first kind of 90 minutes at Livingston the week before, done really well. He'd scored again in the first half there on Saturday. I thought he was really, really good. He caused him all sorts of problems, and obviously then Ben Wilson getting kind of back as well after breaking his hand, that would have been maybe a dynamic that we could have explored, maybe having the kind of two up front, different attributes and complement each other really well. I try to think from the game on the top of my head. The rest of the boys most trained today, and any kind of niggles you'll need to remind me off the top of my head. It's just finished training.
I think most people that played were either already fit back. It was Luke's first game back.
Luke's come back, yep. Luke came through the game, trained in that as normal, so that's obviously a good sign for him. I'm trying to think who else.
Mason had a wee limit towards the end, but
Mason's had a wee thing ongoing, so it's more a nerve thing than anything, so it's not going to be one that we're thinking anything long term or whatever. It's just managing his load at the minute until he can kind of get that right. And again, obviously Mason performed really well at the weekend. Intensity that he played at, it didn't kind of affect him, but we've just got to make sure, especially after that, we manage his recovery and make sure that he's doing his kind of exercises and programmes to try and rectify it. Gavin, I think, came off as well with a bang on his hip, which he's come through trained as normal. Like I said, Ben Wilson came on, no issues, trained fully today, which is obviously pleasing. So as healthy as it's been in the last kind of couple of weeks anyway. So we'll just kind of take it as it comes. We'll obviously in a wee while from now until Saturday, so we'll hopefully have no injuries from there.
How's Terrell getting on?
Doing really well. Obviously he'd had a kind of strain to a ligament in his knee, which again we got the all clear from Middlesbrough and stuff that it was good to do his rehab. It wasn't going to be anything kind of longer term, so he's been a couple of weeks. To be fair, he's a good lad in terms of his professionalism. He gets on with his kind of programme and stuff. You don't have to constantly be at him, and he's itching to get back. He was playing and contributing to the team, and he's obviously not doing that now, so he's itching to get back. The same with like your Dean McMasters and Liam McStravick, and these guys are just desperate to get back, and they're watching training, doing their programmes, and it's all right doing your fitness and cardio work at the side, but when it's no training it's not the same. So listen, there's a bug and a kind of desire for boys to get back fit, but as I said, it's important that we just make sure that we get everybody back fit, that we don't have any issues.
You could really tell with Dean, he was with us on commentary, and you could tell he was
hopeless by the way, wasn't
he was dead keen to be out playing. I think he would have much rather been there on the pitch than in the box with us. So I guess it's just about making sure those guys keep their chins up as they go through their process.
That's part of football, and especially as a young player, you know, you're going to have setbacks, whether it be injuries, whether it be out the team, in the team, losses, wins. You know, we've experienced as a group and as a staff and as a club some amazing highs in the last couple of years, and because there's a wee kind of run of form, or there's a wee bit of kind of gelling together, some injuries, 15 new players into your squad, it takes probably a little bit of time to settle, which we understand. You know, I'm not naive enough to do that, but we've set ourselves kind of high standards and good standards through the hard work that the boys have put in. So it's important, like I said, we deal with what we've got just now in terms of the injuries, and we try and do as best we can. But the likes of Dino's and Liam McStravick's and that, they're going to come back much better people, much kind of stronger people mentally, for any kind of obstacles that come their way in the future. And it's just unfortunate just now that it's detriment to playing on a Saturday.
The only thing I guess to check in on, just I don't imagine it'll make a big difference because it's still a Saturday game day, but the early kick-off, will that disrupt the kind of preparations at all?
Nah, again, it's a Saturday, so we prep all week in terms of the work's done Monday to Friday anyway, so your Saturday's your chance to go out and perform, and it shouldn't affect whether it was an evening game, a Friday night game, a Sunday afternoon game. It doesn't really affect us. It just means we have to tailor the training days when they get their day off midweek to kind of break up the session, but apart from that, all good.
Brilliant. Rhys, thanks very much.
Cheers.